Hey guys, welcome back to Paradise. So today I had some thoughts going on in my brain, so I'll see if I can articulate them for you as well as I think about them in my head. But so we've been just had New Year's, and so a lot of people out there start doing like New Year's resolutions and things like that. We don't usually do, well, we don't really do too many traditions like that. But so I started thinking about why it's always, everybody does all these, kind of reinvents themselves for the new year. Like, all right, this is the day that I could reinvent myself, even though, every day is a new day. So you could reinvent yourself any day, but why do people do it on the first? Because that's kind of like, you turn the calendar over like, oh, this is a whole new beginning, a whole new start. And that's how most people kind of see life. And I started thinking about our life and how we're obviously we live different than everybody else. And I started thinking about ours and how we kind of think that way like every day. And I started to try to figure out like why is it so different that we think about that like almost every day and other people usually don't. And I kind of came up with the realization that it's because we move around a lot. It's because we're nomading. We never go to the same place for a long time. So usually when we are, doing our thing, we stay at a spot for about 2 weeks on average. So about 2 weeks, give or take, before we go in and get food and stuff. And then we usually never come back to the same spot again until the next year. So we do that, and then I guess if it's raining or anything, then sometimes we change our plans a little bit. But for the majority, it's usually 2 weeks. So 2 weeks we stay at one spot. So now all of a sudden, if you live in just a traditional house, you never change. You're always in that same house. You always are going to go home to that house after work, and you're probably going to go to the same job. So you got this kind of the same routine. You wake up, you get ready, you go to the same job, you come home, same house, everything. It's always going to be there for you. You never have to think of like, oh, it's not going to be there when I get off work or anything like that. So you kind of get in this routine of just thinking that it's always going to be there, where you can kind of like push things off until later. You're like, oh, I'll do it later, I'll do it later, I'll do it later. So then that's kind of the New Year's thing, like, oh, a new year, I could reinvent myself and stuff like that, where our life is, I guess it's kind of one day in every 2 weeks. So one day in every 14 days is kind of our equivalent to everybody else's like 1 in 365. So for 1 in 365, it really doesn't seem that big of a deal to like kind of waste a day, like to not do anything, like, I got 365 days, I can do it tomorrow or something like that. Whereas ours is 1 in 14, where I only have 14 days here. So if I don't do what I want to do here in 14 days, if I want to walk where I want to walk, if I want to explore where I want to explore, make a video here that's something special that I want to make a video of, if I don't do it in those 14 days, it's not going to get done. Because I won't be back to this spot probably for another at least a year in most places. So I have to do it now. So that's kind of how we live our life, where we're like, a day in our life is whatever that ratio is to everybody else's, where we're like, oh, we didn't do anything today. It's like, it makes you really kind of get out there and want to have a zest for life, because you're like, I don't have time to waste. Because obviously everybody at the end of the year is like, wow, that year went by so fast. Like, and then like, did I accomplish anything? Did I do any of my goals? Did I better myself? Anything? And then you always start the new year with all these ambitions and stuff, and then obviously it usually kind of dwindles down because you're back into the same routine. Like, if you want to change, you usually have to change like your job, where you live, anything like that. That kind of shakes you up and it makes you want to do something different. So that's where our life is where every 2 weeks is something completely different. We're like, oh no, what about this spot? We have to learn about this spot. We have to learn the geology, the animals, the flora, the fauna, like everything, and then make videos for you guys. And then we also have to explore it and enjoy it ourselves and play with the dogs and all these little things, where our life is just completely filled with learning and changing and kind of growing together. Because every year we've done things a little different than the last year. Like, oh, let's do that instead of this, or so anything like that. And then when we do come back to a spot, we kind of already maybe know some of the stuff in the region, so then we can explore a little deeper, or take a little break and just kind of relax or anything like that. But I guess I was just thinking about that, and everybody's making their New Year's resolutions and how you can reinvent yourself every day, and how, I don't know, I think that being kind of in a rut, or keeping things the same is kind of a source of evil, where you kind of just get into these ruts where you'll say you know that you're going to go to the same job, you know you're going to have the same house. It kind of gets you stagnant, where you're just like, oh, I always have time. where it's good to have some change, where you're kind of forced to know that you're not always going to have the situation, so you have to do things now. So hopefully I articulated that well. That was kind of my thought in my brain when we were talking about it, and that it seemed to make sense. So anyways, I guess that's the joy of this life, is it always is constant change, and it kind of forces you to live life to the fullest. There's no kind of downtime where you can just sit and whatever, watch TV, and it's just kind of a waste of time and you're not really doing anything. So that's what I love about this life. It's awesome, and that's why I do the whole calendar thing. If you've never seen that video on that, I take a calendar and pretty much turn it into my journal, and then everything we do every day is I write down what we did that day in the little journal, or in the calendar square, and then I can look back at a year and be like, wow, like we did all that this year. That's awesome. Because even us, we still think that the year flies by, but we look back and we're like, wow, we did a lot. We accomplished a lot. We grew a lot as a couple and everything. So it's just a fantastic feeling to know that you're living life to the fullest. So I think that's it for today. I probably forgot something, but anyways, there'll probably be some more philosophy videos coming online. We talk a lot, so every once in a while I'll try to drop you guys a video like this. But anyways, hope this guys helped you guys out there. There's my articulation. Otherwise, we'll see you guys next time. Thanks for following, guys. Bye.